Hey there, it's Buster again. I'm going to attempt to reread a story from my book, Excellence by Scars. The third story is about me in a heavy metal band, a Christian band that is, called Chocolate Alligator. This is story number 3 in the book. In 1992, we had a band, a Christian rock band that consisted of Ray, John Oliver, John Freeman, Chuck, and myself. And Chuck and I were inspired to make a road trip to Orlando. We went to the Orlando Christian Center on a Tuesday night. We knew in an instant that it was where we needed to be. We came back to Mobile, Alabama, and told the rest of the band that we were moving, and we all moved. We found a house that needed a lot of repair and used our skills to fix it as a deposit and the first month's rent. We moved all of our music equipment into the garage and a storage unit. John, our lead singer, couldn't handle living like band members, so he quit and quit us in the first week. I had been singing backup, so I took up the role of lead singer until we could find a replacement. Pastor Scott, one of the associate pastors, accepted our invitation to come hear us practice. He liked what he heard, and he let us play in front of the Tuesday night group of about 200. We were there several months before this happened. I didn't realize that I'd sung the lead part until after it was over. I couldn't believe I did it. Pastor Scott set up Chocolate Alligator to do an anti-drug tour of 16 schools in England. We booked the plane and all the equipment that I requested, and he really believed in us. That period of time was what I call the in-between time. I had been arrested, but when I showed up to court, they called it null process. I didn't understand what that was. From being on a television interview with a TV evangelist, Pastor Scott knew everything about my past. Not many bands could say they are international, and we were so excited, but what happened next was so devastating. The new assistant district attorney in Alabama was rolling through some old cases and decided to bring up my charges. One of my brothers called me and told me that there was a secret indictment out on me. He told me to call a certain lawyer. I called and turned myself in without them looking for me. I pled guilty to get a year and for them to let my brother go free. They agreed to it. However, Judge Brantley said 10 years as he smashed his gavel. They suspended the sentence for me to do the year with no good time, no early release. My heart was broke for so many reasons. The day I landed in jail was the day that we were supposed to land in England. Another reason for the broken heart was letting Pastor Scott down. I gave what little I had away and then went to jail. While I was in, Pastor Scott had the Christian Center take my collect phone calls so we could talk. He also had the Tuesday night group writing me and praying for me. This was awesome. I was the only person in the cell block getting mail every day. Late one night, in the dark, on the top bunk in my cell by myself, I took the shaving razor that I was supposed to have turned in. I broke off all the plastic from around the blade, and my decision was made. The shame was more than I wanted to continue living with. This was about 90 days into my sentence, and I made my silent prayers. The final prayer was this: God, if you want me to continue, you need to send someone to tell me not to kill myself. I could see the clock on the wall, and it was near the top of the hour, so this would be when I did it. At the top of the hour, I would slash hard deep across my jugular vein, so there would be no way to save me, no way of saving me. I located the large artery on the side of my neck, and all that was left was the waiting. It was dark, it was late at night, lights were out, and the TVs were off. The head counts from the guards were over. I was at peace with what I was about to do. I said to God, "You can't save me this time." I prayed vehemently not to be in there, yet there I was, sitting in a jail cell alone and ready to kill myself. In my heart and mind, there was no way for God to reach me now. I was not making a sound, just sitting there watching the clock. A young guard came up to my cell and shook my cell door. He said this, "God told me to come talk to you. He wants you to know that He has great plans for you." He had my cell door buzzed open. He came in and prayed with me. He told me that he was working with a youth pastor and the youth pastor with a youth group and the youth pastor of a church. He told me her name was Debbie. I knew Debbie. I had worked with her on a drama team before I entered the dark days of my life. I also built an addition onto her house so she could have Bible studies at home for the large groups. I never told this guard this. As he was leaving, I handed him the razor blade. It was at that moment he knew he had heard God's voice and come to talk with me. More than anything, as I write this, I realize that there were two earth angels in this story. Pastor Scott is now running a food bank in Orlando. I call him every few years and tell him thank you, and to never forget what an impact he made on my life, and without him I would surely be dead. I never knew the young guard officer's name, and I never saw him again. It is only with support that anyone succeeds. If you're crying after reading this one, you're not alone. Sometimes I forget who was there for me. I hope that I can be an earth angel to someone or to many. Life is good. God is great. Buster.